Welcome to Truth Talks, a show where four totally different people get together and argue about what's going on in the culture. Kind of like friends meeting in a bar for a drink, but we don't always like each other like all the way. Like, I don't even like Dimitri at all right now. That's just the vibe I'm on. I didn't even talk to him today. That's just how I came out of bed this morning. So we're going to see how that portends for the show. Good luck to him. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Diddy's dirty ass hotel rooms, Pusha T, fiery at Drake, book. And if AI doesn't work right, you know what could happen to you? Your black ass might end up in jail. Truth Talk starts right now.
Are y'all ready to roll? Let's go.
Welcome, Truth Tellers. It's another episode of Truth Talks, and we're going to get all the way into Pusha T dissing Drake because I love stories where somebody is dissing Drake. If Drake has 1 million haters, I am one of them. If he has one hater, it is me. And if he has 0 haters, it is because I am dead. That's how it is. So we're going to talk about Pusha dissing Drake again. We're going to have a deep talk about AI. That's artificial intelligence, Dimitri, not Allen Iverson. Try to keep up. Please welcome my co-host, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
What's going on, Truth Tellers? You guys know I'm bringing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because a lot of times my other co-hosts, they're a little more on the naive side. So I bring the reality of what these topics really need a voice to. So anyways, yeah, I'm back. You can continue.
Welcome, friend of the show, Areva Martin, a legal expert you've seen on CNN and ABC Live and Harvard Law and everywhere else important.
I love a show that starts by calling the co-host naive. Interesting choice of words, sis, but we'll see who's naive by the time we get to the end of this show.
Thank you, my sister. I appreciate that. And let me tell you something. Late last night, the Make-A-Wish Foundation called me and said, we really need a favor. There's a kid who wants to do a TV show with you just one time. So please welcome my Make-A-Wish kid, Dimitri Wiley.
I just can't catch a break with this show. Jesus Christ. I'm just here to say hi to my grandma. How you guys doing?
What's grandma's name?
Her name is Rose Webb. That's her name.
Oh, wow. My grandmother was named Rose. That's crazy.
We have more in common than you think, Tori.
I know. All right. Let's move into trending truths brought to you by our friends at Hair Maniacs. Our first story is a bit of an odd aspect of the Diddy case. We heard Diddy's former assistant, Mia, not her real name, recount the many humiliating aspects of her job with Diddy. One of the tasks, cleaning up hotel rooms after the freak-offs when baby oil was everywhere. It's disgusting. They also had a Beverly Hills hotel employee testify that the rooms were destroyed after Diddy left. Sometimes they charged Diddy upwards of $6,700 for deep cleaning the room. They tended to put the rooms into deep cleaning, his rooms into deep cleaning after he left anyway. And they often charged him $1,000 extra for cleaning the room before he even entered the room. Dr. B, $6,700 some dollars, that's a lot of money to clean a hotel room. Is that what it costs to clean your house?
No, that's what it costs to clean up evidence like this. You see, this is called pay to play. So when you're talking about cleaning up drugs and things of that sort, my question is, and Areva, you're an attorney on here. I know it's civil rights, but you may be privy to this. From last I checked, it is illegal to not report when you find drugs to this level in a hotel room, and that it is the staff's duty, kind of like we have a duty to report certain aspects. Now, maybe not baby oil, maybe not condoms or things of that sort, but when you got drugs and things like that, I was told that those things are supposed to be reported when they are found. And so my question is, again, why was the staff not reporting these things? But then again, they were getting paid, in my opinion, not to clean up the room for the next check-in person, but to clean up the evidence from Diddy's freak off scene. That's how I look at it.
Oh, Reva, she's absolutely right that the employees were being used to clean up these crime scenes. But the other part of it, when the doc says, they're supposed to call the police, the people in Diddy's orbit were not calling the police because they were more afraid of Diddy, and they didn't think that the police could actually help them, which is an insane situation.
Yeah, let's just use the word nasty. Let's just be real honest about what this is. Anyone that does to a hotel room what Diddy did to these hotel rooms is nasty. And you're right, Dr. B. This is not just cleaning up. This is covering up. This was a cover up by these employees. And we heard testimony from one of the security guards that worked at the hotel, particularly the hotel in LA where that horrific video was shot of Diddy dragging and beating Cassie Ventura fine. He said he was given $100,000, a bribe, to take that video and to make it disappear, to give it to Diddy so that no one could ever see that violence that was perpetrated against Cassie Ventura. So everything about this case has just been horrific. It's been the way the prosecution is building its conspiracy and racketeering case against Diddy, showing the jury these hotel rooms, the photos, the pictures, and the video, so that those jurors could feel like they were right there in real time being a witness to the crimes the prosecution has alleged in this case.
Ariva, the hotel told Diddy it'll cost you $50,000 to take the tape of you beating up Cassie, right? So that's their price for a bribe, right? He got there and he gave them $100,000. So he's like, well, I'll bribe the other people in the situation too. They didn't ask for a bribe, but I'm going to bribe everybody in the room now. So he doubled the price, doubled the bribe. Dimitri, when they arrested him, they went into his room and found he was planning to do another freak off. Is it insane to you that when the ship was sinking and he knew he was close to arrest, that he's gearing up to do it again?
See, the thing about it is, you're comfortable. This is what you've been doing for years. So no matter if you under fire or not, you still feel like, I am so powerful. This is a ship they cannot sink. And the thing about it is, the laundry employee stated there was blood, urine, vomit, all of these things on the sheets. Like, what are we doing? Like, for me, the first thing ran through my mind when we start speaking the numbers and everything, $6,700. If a hotel charges me $67, I'm furious. If you charge me for a little bottle of water, I'm furious. I just think the idea of this is a man so comfortable, like Dr. Brown said, pay to play. I'm cool with how this looks because I'm not the one going to have to clean it up. My money can take care of all of this.
Ariva, both Cassie and Jane, who was also a freak off victim, both testified that they were expected to do freak offs during their monthly, which is part of what we're talking about when we're reporting on blood is found in these rooms. I mean, like, that is a level, to me, that shows a level of depravity, of not caring about these women as human beings. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, Teray, it's menstrual cycle. We're okay with it. We're grown-ups. Let's destigmatize what happens to women once a month. We go on our menstrual cycle and we bleed. And yes, these women were on their cycles and they were bleeding menstrual blood, and they were still forced, they were still coerced to participate in these sex acts with male sex workers while Diddy masturbated and while he videotaped them, while he orchestrated every aspect of the sex act. That's been the testimony. Of course, it's testimony from these witnesses that have come into this trial. We've not seen anything as depraved as this. I've been following trials for a minute. I've been involved in a lot of cases. And I have to tell you, what we have heard from these witnesses, I don't think this could be even written by a Hollywood producer, the level of depravity that we saw and are witnessing as the witnesses continue to testify. And it's not over. Let's be clear. This trial is nowhere from being over. I think we're going to even hear about more acts of depravity than what we've already heard.
Doc, one of the freak off victims testified that she repeatedly asked, can we please at least use a condom? And he forcefully said, no, I don't want that.
Yeah. And then to add to that, Touré, the victim stated that they were still, and he was still willing to have sex with them with untreated, uncured STDs. I mean, come on, this is not just freak off. This is like putting someone's life at risk. There are certain STDs that are not curable, that are deadly. And so when you start to look at
UTIs also, and expected to keep going through UTIs.
And so again, right, completely dehumanizing these women. This is past sex. This is past being freaky. This is like dehumanizing. This is like, and you know what? This brought something to my mind now. We've been talking about this narcissistic behavior he has, right? But there's a difference between a narcissist and someone who is actually psychotic. Two different, right? A narcissist actually, believe it or not, they actually do care about what you think about them. Okay. But someone who is psychotic, they don't care. They don't have the compassion. They don't need your validation, nor do they care about your thoughts of what they're doing whatsoever. This is giving me more of a psychotic type of behavior where it's like, listen, I can care less what you think. I can care less about your health. I can care less about what the end result. I want what I want in the moment. And if that means your life is ended, that means you're at high risk, then oh, freaking well. That's just, I mean, it's just the epitome. I mean, the epitome of weaponizing and demonizing these women to the root and core. And we can't even, it would take a whole 2 episodes to talk about the psychological impacts of something like this. This is just bananas.
Dimitri, this is it's a complicated issue because, these women are alleging something very, very, very serious, and nothing's been proven yet. But like what we're talking about here feels like almost like systematized rape.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. And I know you guys brought up menstruals, and a lot of men may not understand, but I don't think this was necessarily menstrual blood that may have been on these sheets. I think if there's vomit, if there's urine, this is some other act we may not be in realm of or retrospective thinking of, because our minds may not be able to go there. What I know for sure about the human interaction is once you go far enough, there's always something more you tend to chase after you sat at that certain height for so long. Mm-hmm. It seems a lot crazier than we could think. And again, I'm with Dr. Brian. This doesn't seem like narcissism. This seems like a pure psychotic act, honestly.
Ariva.
Yeah, I agree, Dimitri. This may not have just been all menstrual blood. Could have been blood from injuries, could have been blood from any number of things. But let's keep in mind, the defense has been putting on a very strong case that these women were strong, independent women that had agency and that they liked these sexual encounters, these freak off, these hotel nights, and that they purposely went back for more. So we've heard a lot from the defense trying to show that these women weren't coerced, they weren't forced, that they did it because they loved Diddy. They did it in one case because they wanted the financial benefit that comes from dating or being involved with a celebrity.
They are trying to make that case. It is a tough uphill battle. You know as well as anyone, the federal government wins somewhere upwards of 95 to 98% of their cases, and they are showing in a very detailed way the way these women were controlled financially, their living situations, violence. Cassie's afraid her album's not going to come out, afraid that the tapes are going to be sent to the media and ruin her life and her career. Jane is her whole life wrapped up in Diddy in different ways. So he's controlling them. It's not, as the defense would love for us to believe, why didn't they just leave? But it's much more, Dr. B, it's much more complicated than you could have just, you're an adult, you could have just walked out the door. There's all these different ways that they were controlled.
Yeah, and I love what you and Ariva said, Touré, because I was looking and studying the case yesterday to prep for our show today. And I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening. And I'm like, Diddy's counsel is attempting to get the jury to believe that there was no sex trafficking. It was these women who were in love with him. This is why they keep getting on the stands, Jane and so far Cassie, and you'll see the rest of them come on, that are going to say they were in a relationship with him. They were totally in love with him, which means if they were in a relationship with him, they were just doing what? Having swinger parties, having freak offs, just having these sexual parties that they liked. but he just took it out of control. And they're trying to get the jury to say, wait a minute. So this man, you were in love with this man? This was a real relationship. This wasn't a transactional relationship. There was no transaction here. This was love involved. And how many men or women, especially women, do things for the man that they love? And I'm listening, I'm going, Diddy's counsel was trying to get the jury to believe that these women were so in love with him that this was a relationship. This wasn't Diddy taking advantage of these women. They were actually in love. And these women just allowed him to do these things because love makes you do crazy things. Love and insanity are the same emotion, just experienced differently. And I thought, as much as people may not agree with it, to me, that's genius for his counsel to say, if there's only one way out of this, this might be the way to get folks to think these women were in love. There was a relationship. There was no sex trafficking. There was no pay to play per se. I was just sitting up here with relationships and things got too far.
Well, I mean, yes, that is what the defense, that is part of what the defense is trying to argue. Jane talked about a love contract whereby she was paid $10,000 a month for multiple years, including now. She said he is still paying her rent to this day. So she gets $10K a month, and they both understood that her job, her responsibilities in return were to be available for freak-offs whenever he wanted, right? And Cassie, the same thing, had that same sort of financial relationship to the whole. Cassie said on the stand, I was basically a sex worker. I mean, so Ariva, there's all these different ways that they were controlled, and we keep calling them former girlfriends, but I think they were really live-in sex workers.
Mm.
Well, thank God for experts like Dr. B, or those that work in her profession, because as skilled as the defense lawyers have been in putting forth this theory that this was all about love and women willing to do anything to please a man that they love, we've had testimony from an expert psychologist that has testified about what happens to women when you are in a relationship. Keep in mind, Cassie was 19 years old. Diddy was 37 when they started that relationship. And what that imbalance of power does, and how men like Diddy, powerful men, we've seen it before, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, he's not the first one on trial for something like this, that they manipulate, they brainwash, and they cause these women to get so confused about what love is. And it's not love. They have been brainwashed and they are coerced. And the law has a very broad definition of coercion. And it does include withdrawing necessities like your rent. It does include using physical threats and using physical violence. So as skilled as the defense has been, I think ultimately jurors are way smarter, and they're going to see through that narrative that this was love, and they're going to see it for what it was. It was coercion, and it wasn't consent. It was control.
Dimitri, what do you think? Does it sound like coercion and control? Or are you still like, a lot of people on the streets are like, why didn't they just leave?
You know, it's a fine line between loving someone and thinking you're in love with somebody and loving what a person is doing for you. And the thing about it is, that's at a base level where I am, very normal for people to get confused with that. So when you put it in the multitude of millions of dollars and a person funding your livelihood and your career and your reputation and your family and everything under you, them doing for you, regardless of what it is they got you doing, you could believe it's love. But at the end of the day, it's still coercion. It's still him controlling the narrative.
Yeah, for sure. This is an extraordinary story. I can't recall ever hearing about an entertainment executive controlling people in the way that Diddy is alleged to have controlled people and had them basically as live-in sex workers. It's an insane story. Moving on, story number 2. Pusha T is pushing back. I love that. We learned this last week, how much influence Drake has on the entire music business when Pusha T revealed that his unreleased album has a song with Kendrick. And because Pusha is on Def Jam, and Def Jam's parent label is UMG, the parent label of Drake's label, so they're ultimately on the same label, and Drake is suing UMG because of the Kendrick beef. When UMG heard that Pusha had a song with Kendrick on his album, they said, no, the optics of that, even if you guys aren't actually talking about Drake, even if there's no subliminals about Drake, the optics of us supporting that song, the two of you with this lawsuit over it, too much. And of course, Pusha said, no, I'm not changing the song and I'm not dropping the song. So the label said, fine, we'll just drop you. And actually, though, they made Pusha pay $1.5 million to get off the label because they're like, we're just not going to put out your album. And he's like, all right, we got to give you $1.5 million to be free of this. And now they're on Jay-Z's label. It's a whole different situation. But we see how Drake's situation had an impact on Pusha T's situation. Dimitri, I continue to think that the lawsuit that Drake has filed and all the fallout around it, including something like this, is far worse for Drake than losing the battle ever was.
Yeah, I think he lost the battle. I think, and then this pushed him in a realm of also losing the war. This was a very, very weak move to the hip hop culture. Mm-hmm. Hip hop used to be a diss track. You got lyrical warfare. Now it's about paperwork getting pushed through at corporations and companies. And the thing about it is, it's taking us out of the realm of just seeing you as an artist. Now, honestly, it's pushing back towards the exact reason Kendrick mentioned before. You only have this spot in music because of your Jewish descent, because of your and that's how I look at it. That's the only reason I care. It's boring me. Like, it's taking me out of the mindset of loving the music for what the music is. This is more than us hip hop fans bargain for.
Ariva, here's part of why I care about this. Because as a real hip hop fan, I cared about Kendrick's message, which was ultimately, he's not real hip hop, right? So fuck him, get out of here. I'm with that. But now Drake's non-hip hop response meant that I have to wait even a year and a half to hear an amazing album from one of hip hop's great groups, right? The Clips. So Drake's adult temper tantrum continues to affect hip hop in general, right? Like overall, like I can't even get away from it, even if I'm not paying attention to Drake. Mm. But please talk from your experience as a lawyer about watching Drake sue UMG for defamation, his label for defamation of character, when it was Kendrick who dissed him.
Well, first, let me be clear. I am a big Drake fan. Obviously, I mean,
shut her mic off.
I like Drake and I like Kendrick, and I think, not my legal hat. I'll take my legal hat off for a minute. I don't care about any of this because it just looks like all of these rap artists are doing what they are so brilliant at doing, skilled at doing, which is making money, doing diss tapes, keeping themselves in the limelight, keeping the attention on them and selling more music and selling out more concert stadiums. So Touré, are we getting wrapped up in this and taking it far more seriously than what this really is about, which is these guys figuring out how to stay rich? So
I think this is a really important moment for the culture. Drake and Kendrick battling and what they mean as far as authenticity and a lack of authenticity, African-Americanness, and being late to the culture, being real and being not. I mean, my question is, why do you like Drake?
Ray, I think you're taking them way too seriously. I think these are some skilled artists. They're both rappers, they're artists, but they're business people at their core, and they have figured out a way to keep their names in the press, to keep their stadiums full.
I think Kendrick comes to this battle in good faith, not from a product or marketing standpoint or here's how I'm going to get my name out there. Like, I think he genuinely sees Drake as a bad figure within hip hop culture, as somebody who is not part of the norms, the traditions, and the ways of hip hop. And as an elder statesman of hip hop, and somebody who's like, I am the authenticity, I am the embodiment of hip hop, I am calling you out because you do not belong here. So, I mean, the very nature of what the culture is about and should be about, right? I think that Dimitri agrees with me, is part of what we've been talking about here with Kendrick and Drake. It's not a cynical marketing move. This is about the purity of the culture that he cares about. Dimitri?
I agree. I think the idea of it is, exactly what he said was exactly what he was supposed to do. Whatever Kendrick said on those records was exactly what he's supposed to do because it won him the war. You don't get into a fight and hold back your punches. You throw them. But Drake's too worried about why y'all let him put this music out and not what he said, not coming out with better music. Yeah, it's taking us away from hip hop.
Doc?
I think they both belong in hip hop. Hip hop has different representations. They both belong here. It's not about who doesn't belong. And when you're talking about, like Ariva said, them being businessmen, Kendrick is. He's getting endorsements. He's getting money. He's getting deals. He's doing Super Bowl. And he's all right with this back and forth diss. Drake is the one who's being a spoiled brat saying, I have a problem with it. Pull this out. Don't do this. Don't do that. Now I'm going to sue you. What happened to hip hop? I thought hip hop originated from people bebopping, somewhere in a park on the street and dissing each other. And that it was supposed to just be a competitive bebop, diss, do your thing and continue this thing. And now they've taken it to being commercialized. And you got two folks who are doing what Ariva said, not bebopping, but they're doing in studio, Torre, leave me alone, in studio records, but they're still dissing each other. So what I'm saying is this is a business. I think Kendrick understands the business aspect of it. He's ready to go toe to toe. He's ready to keep doing these records and make his money. Drake is crying and being more of a little, I don't want to say that word, a brat, a crybaby. And it's like, bruh, you're part of the culture. You're part of hip hop. You're part of rap. What's the problem? Make another diss track. Make your money, like Ariva said. Why are y'all not making money off this? Create generational wealth. Drake, you're a father. Do something with that. But don't sit up here and cry about who's on a track when you could be making money in the studio using them damn crocodile tears. Get over it, Drake. Push through.
And I know that beatboxing wasn't big in Cali culture, but it's a very important part of hip hop. I don't know what beatbopping is, Grandma, but like whatever. You can have that with your doo-wop or whatever. Okay. Woo. My poor ears. All right, moving on to politicking. Moving on to our politicking segment, the Trump administration mistakenly deported another immigrant, this one a Congolese immigrant who they sent to South Sudan because they do not know that Africa is split into many countries and they are not the same. Africa is not one big place. It is many, many, many countries. Glad we got that clear. And then the Trumpies said to the Supreme Court, can we just deport people to wherever we want to send them? It doesn't matter where they are originally from. We just want to send them to whatever country we want to send them to, which is kind of insane. Roll the clip about that.
Away from this bizarre diplomatic dispute appears to be if the Trump administration decides that you're from South Sudan, you will be deported there, even if you're not from that country. Officials in Juba say the United States deported a Congolese citizen to South Sudan, and when they sent him back to the U.S., the State Department reacted by canceling all existing visas for all South Sudanese people and blocking the issuance of any new visas. So what happened is South Sudan did issue travel authorization for somebody named Nimeri Garang, but the U.S. sent them a Congolese man named Makula Kintu. South Sudanese officials believe that the U.S. made a mistake and sent them the wrong man.
Dimitri, this is really a sad story. And again, the inhumanity that the Trumpies practice toward immigrants in this country. But you think about, if the Supreme Court says, yes, you can do this, what does an African country do? We would love to see them say, no, America, but these are much smaller, much less powerful countries for the most part in Africa compared to the United States. So it's politically, militarily, economically, it's hard for them to just be like, no.
They turn in deportation and passports and visas, and it's a roulette wheel that they're making. And that's like a lack of humanity for basic people, not just to mention the Black race, like Black lives in general. It's poor care. But it's what America's always done. In every other regard, this is what America's done. This is nothing new. This is just taking place in South Africa at this point. Completely inhumane. I hate everything it stands for. Everything got to do with it.
76 million people voted for Donald Trump, and one of his biggest promises was to, quote unquote, rid the country of immigrants that he called rapists and drug dealers and criminals. But what he really meant was to make sure that white people in this country, white supremacy, were, uplifted while he continued to humanize people of color, including those immigrants that come from Black and brown countries. No surprises here. Just over the weekend, Donald Trump sent 2,000 or ordered 2,000 National Guards into downtown Los Angeles after trying to raid some workplaces in the Los Angeles area. He has been chomping at the bit to do that because he wanted to send a military force into a democratic city like Los Angeles. So I'd say, Jeray, where are the people that voted for Donald Trump? If nothing angers you or makes you mad, hopefully looking at the images of people being kidnapped off the streets, college students being sent to countries, that should make you mad.
I think some of them want that, but Doc, the African side of this, these African countries may want to repel the US. They may want to give us the middle finger and say, no, you can't do this, sending immigrants not from this country back here. But that's a complicated road for them.
He said it loud and fucking clear. Make America great again. What do people not understand? His representation, his ideology of make America great again is modern day slavery. We're living in it right now. What are you talking about? Grabbing people, taking them out their country and putting them in any country or any place that you want them to be. That is exactly what they did with us in the slavery days. Box us up, put us on ships and say, you're going to go where we drop you off at. And you just figure it out when you get there. We'll tell you what you're going to do. This is modern day slavery. And then to go further, he's taking advantage of a very, very vulnerable country. Very vulnerable continent. Was that not what they did back in slavery? So all I'm saying is this is modern day slavery where he is trying to turn his leadership into dictatorship. And I go back to what I said a while ago. He is definitely trying to create a martial law so that he can show that we are out of control and he needs to come in and dictate and take on this power of superiority over people who have lost their mind. They were here in Los Angeles last night. The guards came in, they came into our ports. You have people protesting. They literally are throwing people in cages. This is not, listen for the folks who ain't seeing it, who just watching it on TV. I was at a Democratic dinner last night, left the dinner early. They had to sleep early to make sure we can get into our homes because the National Guard was here to support and back up ISIS. When you have people who are fighting in the street, who are getting thrown in cages, and then they're arresting folks. I mean, it is, Touré, it was literally,
no. ISIS instead of ICE is the best malapropism I've heard all day. I love that. I want to call them ISIS myself. That was beautiful.
Called ISIS. It's called ISIS. You know why? Because that's exactly the ignorance of what these people are doing. I did that on purpose. That's the ignorance behind this. They have kids who are there throwing tear gas at. They have, hold on. I'm gonna land on this. This is why it's called ISIS. They are arresting citizens, putting citizens in the back of cages for protesting. You're here for immigration. Why are you arresting the U.S. citizens? Because they look like immigrants. This is the racism I'm talking about. You can't say that immigration has a look. I mean, it's sick. It's modern day slavery. It's sad. And it's happening to majority of our brown people right here in L.A. It's mind-boggling.
But when you talk about the potential for martial law, that is real. And when Trump talks about wanting to federalize the National Guard to go against American citizens in America, on our streets, that is an extraordinarily frightening step toward dictatorship. We're going to keep talking about that. I want to expand the conversation a little bit away from that into our main topic, because AI ain't really for us to date. AI is not properly programmed to recognize African-American facial structures, our nuances, our vocal intonations. Studies show that AI training data contains biases in skin tones and societal stereotypes, and this can have an impact even on policing. Look at this clip.
AI systems are becoming increasingly integrated into our society, and most of the time they make our lives easier. But sometimes these systems fail to live up to expectations, and when they do, they're not failing everyone equally.
It made me look paler and it gave me blue eyes, so the general impression was that, it had changed my race.
We tested out Playground AI. It's a generative AI tool, meaning it can generate new images for the user. I asked the software to make me look more professional, and this was the result.
It's clearly whitewashing these people. But Dimitri, we also have a whole uproar going on online because your boy Timbaland, the legendary producer, has released plans to put out an AI-generated recording artist. And a lot of people are very upset about that. How do you feel about an AI rapper?
You know, I think it's absolutely blasphemy. As much as I love Timbaland, and I understand him trying to get with the changes and culture and identity of what we're doing, but moving in this direction implies that one day AI is going to drive everything. If AI can speak, because let's speak about what hip hop is. Let's speak about what music is. Music has been a language for Black culture, or hip hop and Black culture forever. If you telling me you could come in and make a robot give me my culture better than a man can, this is insanity. I hate the direction it's pushing toward. I think it's as much as he wants to be innovative, I think he does not understand how destructive this is.
I agree with that. Ariva, I wanted you to go back to what you were saying about AI in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, it was supposed to make the system fair. It was supposed to address some of the disproportionate outcomes that we see, particularly around Black and brown people. For example, using AI was supposed to give judges a way to make risk assessments about whether somebody was likely to reoffend if they were, let out of a jail, sentence. And what we are finding now is that the programs have the same biases, if not worse biases, than what people have. And that's because the AI systems, the algorithms, they're using the same biased data and information that's been generated by humans. So junk in and junk out. It's very, very scary. As much as I like criminal justice reform, as much as I like technology, as much as I'd like to see AI used, we're not there yet, Toure. And right now, it's a dangerous tool to be used by law enforcement because basically it predicts that Black people are more likely to offend. So that means if you are trying to plead your case to get out of jail, you're more likely to stay because this algorithm predicts that Black folks are more likely to reoffend. And the data about that is absolutely positively wrong.
Doc, what do you think about this AI in the criminal justice system?
Well, AI in the criminal justice system, I think that there are some pros and I think there are some cons. I think Ariva made some really good points that AI is found to have a lot of discriminatory software glitches where it is making it is more similar to the mental health field. It is programmed more to to be more for a Caucasian type of audience, which means that we are, like most things that they create, are on the back burner of who they're creating it for. So a lot of the tests that they've done to create AI are based on folks that don't look like us. And so when they're using them for us or against us when it comes to the law or the criminal justice system, it's not going to work for us at all whatsoever. It's going to work against us, and it's going to dissipate and create more of a marginalization and a disparity within the Black and brown community than we already have in the judicial system. And I think that is going to contribute to the systemic racism that we are already experiencing now, and not cool.
Dimitri, we see like people making mistakes like we see with the South Sudan story. How do we use AI to stop racial bias and stop humans from making mistakes and get us on the right track?
Well, there's ways to do it, but I think it tends to leaning against what AI stands for. Because what I want people to understand is that an intelligence that erases who we are in existence, Black people, Black culture, this isn't artificial. This is very intentional. Because the thing about it is, and if you look, that's all American history has ever done. You can pick up a textbook and the exact same thing is happening. This isn't new. This isn't new. This is just a different way of erasing us. This is a different way of making us seem invisible. That's all it is. It's not, we ain't invisible. We right here. They see us. But the thing about it is, this is a system we weren't designed to be in, clearly.
Doc, part of the thing is that the way that AI is set up now, it quite often doesn't recognize our features. So it's not
100%.
recognizing that it's talking to or looking at a Black person.
Torre, you are so right, because my team has actually been for the past literally 6 months attempting to create a Dr. Brian AI. Just keeping it real, where folks can go on there, and when I'm not available in session, they can have an actual session with Dr. Brian. But guess what? It's not identifying my tone as a Black woman. It's not identifying my way of speaking. And it's not identifying, again, me aesthetically and how I show up. So they have literally been taking this long to try to get this AI to identify with everything that's Dr. B and not have it sound robotic like some white woman or someone who's not me. And that has been our biggest, they have uploaded and downloaded every book I have, every post I posted, because you have to upload all that to the software for it to become you. And when I tell you, it is still not coming out as the Dr. Brian. It is very, very commercialized. It is very, very, very Caucasian. And it is very, very not me. So if anybody went on there to try to have a section with me through artificial intelligence, they're going to be like, this is not the feel or the culture of Dr. Brian. This is not it.
Dimitri, do we need to have more Black STEM students, more Black engineers to help get AI to recognize us, our tones, our way of talking, our culture?
Absolutely. We need more Black engineers. We need more Black techs. We need more Black examples. We need more Black samples, people to actually pull from. Because I think in this case, fuck it, we need Black GBT. I'm going to keep it honest with you. We need Black GBT. We need goddamn, like let's just start making them up about. That's exactly what we need, because we don't have representation at all.
Ariva, this is a really complicated issue, because if they're using us, if they're not recognizing us facially, but then they're using this within the criminal justice system, you can obviously see the potential, the mass potential for a problem. Let's look at this video real quick.
So when we get to the interview room, the first thing they had me do was read my rights to myself and then sign off that I read and understand my rights. A detective turns over a picture of a guy inside Shinola, and he's like, so that's not you? I look, I said, no, that's not me. He turns another paper over, he said, I guess that's not you either. I picked that paper up and hold it next to my face. And I said, this is not me. I was like, I hope y'all don't think all Black people look alike. And then he says, the computer says it's you.
Look at that. And then we're going to have that be part of this man's life as he's trying to fight these charges. Go ahead, Doc. You know, this issue, look, is complicated. Like, this brother is trying to live his life, and the criminal justice system is acting like he's guilty when he's not, because it can't properly recognize Black and brown faces.
But this is the bigger umbrella. When are they going to start fucking making things that actually cater to anything about us? Again, the field of psychology was made for a Caucasian white man, so we are over or underdiagnosed. You got AI that was not made for us to serve us. So again, if you have everything that's working for one group of people, that is called systemic racism. That is called marginalization. That is called disparity. You're not taking into account for human rights, you're taking into account for a superior race. That means that the inferior race have no chance to begin with. No chance. Listen, we already don't get a lot of love or a lot of respect when we're in a courtroom to begin with. You think we need an AI that's going to go against? So we got humans that go against us, and now we got some damn robots that go against us. You tell me, where are we going to go from here? Seriously, where do we go from here? When we have nothing that's working for us but our own people. And when we try to do it, guess what? If we are an employee in the court, at the courtroom, or we're an employee at the DMV, guess what? We also have our hands tied, because if I speak up on behalf of Dimitri or you, Torre, guess what happens? I may lose my job that pays my bills, that keeps my lights on, that gives my kids health insurance. So we are tied at the hands almost everywhere we go.
AI is increasingly being used in mainstream America to broaden this whole issue via employment practices, college applications, places that we get discriminated against a lot. So what does this mean in terms of hiring practices since DEI is being removed? It sort of suggests, Ariva, that AI represents a future where America is more racist and Black people have an even harder time getting ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks that way. These HR programs that are being used, basically, you upload your resume, but the problem is that the resumes that the algorithm is looking at is the resumes of the people that already work at a particular company. So if the company already has a predominant white male workforce, the AI, the algorithm looks and says, well, gee, this company only likes white men. So if you're a black man or a black woman applying for a job at this country, the AI throws out your resume because you don't look like the white men that already work at that company. So if we want to use AI, we got some steps to do. We got to step back from the program and look at what is it training on? What data is it pulling from? How do we make sure that it's not just looking at the white men that are at this company, but looking at the diversity we want to have at this company? And until we do that, we're going to continue to get the discrimination and the racist outcomes of these algorithms.
Ariva, we got a brother about 40 years old, Derek Mobley, who's suing Workday because he says their AI-driven application system disadvantage him and other older job seekers, penalizing older, grown, mature, stop looking at me like that, Dimitri, job seekers, right? We deserve to work too, not just the young like Dimitri. But he submitted 100 applications, and he's getting rejected over and over, and he's suing, suggesting AI is really the problem. And this sort of seems like the legal system starting to come in to try to adjudicate what's right and wrong in this area.
Yeah, I'm so happy about that lawsuit because that guy said he submitted 100 applications or resumes, and in some cases he was turned down within an hour. So there is something inherently wrong with this HR software. It is not, again, taking into account that even though the company may be predominantly white and male, that it is discrimination to weed out candidates based on their race, based on their age, before you even look at their qualifications. And that's what's happening with this HR software. I hope this lawsuit is successful. I hope these AI companies have to go back to the drawing board and reconfigure the AI, taking into account discrimination laws.
Dimitri, I mean, I still am stuck on like, if the criminal justice system is using AI to determine who to pick up and who not, who to let go and who not, and this system is not really smart enough and sharp enough and nuanced enough to understand us, that is an extremely dangerous thing for a person like you.
Oh, absolutely. Because the thing about it is, wrongful arrest is a constitutional violation. And that's exactly what they're allowing. If the police can't identify me, neither can your AI system. You gotta believe me at my word and what I'm doing. So this is actually, the thing about it is criminal justice has already been scary for Black America. This is even worse. This makes it even worse, even harder to get, because you're gonna have so many false incriminations. This is absolutely insane. You in the video, the man said, "Are you sure that's not you?" Like, I just told you this wasn't me. Like, what are we saying? Like, why are you asking me this question 2 times like it's going to change my answer? It's not me. But now you and AI are going to tell me this is me. No, I don't like that. Not one bit.
I mean, Doc, the technology leaves us in a really dangerous spot as Black people.
This is the thing. This AI is a robot. You know, it creates what you feed it, right? There is no information in the software unless you feed it information in the software. So let's go deeper than that. Let's talk about the developers. Who's developing the software and feeding it this racial injustice? Who is feeding it this racially biased information that's telling us, the humans, that Black folks are the ones who have a higher rate of criminalizations, or we are the ones creating the most crimes? That is a systemic, racially fed robot. Robots only do what we create in them. So the developer of the software, the folks who are feeding and creating the robot, are the ones who are to be held responsible, period. That's just what it is. And then secondary, you have the folks who are in the judicial system who should say, hold on, this is racially biased. This cannot stand in a court of law. We can't enforce law with a robot that was fed by a developer who fed it false allegations. If we want to talk legal terms, this is false allegations. This is a false. This is not true. Not at all. So we got to push back on all of this. We got to get back to who's developing these softwares. Because again, the Dr. Brian AI is being developed by who? My team. So if it's racially biased, it's because who? My team fed it the racially biased information for it to show up in that way.
But can I say this? We're all making some assumptions that there are people out there that want the criminal justice system to be unbiased, that they want the criminal justice system to be fair, and that they want Black and brown people to have a fair opportunity when they get involved with the criminal justice system. And I think that is a false assumption for us to make. I think there are people that want to see Black folks disproportionately arrested and incarcerated and to serve longer sentences and to have their lives wrecked by the criminal justice system. We know that by the recent election where Black folks were and are often pitted against other nationalities. We're often painted as the most, violent group of people. We're often painted as the most criminal group of people. And that's purposeful. That's intentional. So I think we got to check our assumptions about this fairness, because folks ain't trying to check for us, ain't trying to make this criminal justice fair. And when you have prosecutors, and you've seen this, Teray, that are progressive prosecutors, what happens? They get voted out of office oftentimes. They get recalled because the system doesn't want to be fair for Black folks.
No, I think that's a really important point, that the expectation that the system itself wants to be fair for us is wrong, that we should assume the system would calibrate itself to be unfair to us. Now, that's just the system in general and the way that white supremacy will always work and rebound to be unfair to us. But AI, Doc, we've been having a lot of fun on AI just as a community, as a culture, and you see a lot of funny things making fun of us, and I don't know, it's a whole new art form, a whole new way to.
I use it on my social media a lot. I have social media posts that are AI. Now, all my AIs are Black with a lot of melanin. The men and the women of my AIs are all Black, and I have a multiracial following of almost 3 million people. But my AIs are Black. But what I'm
sorry. You said your AIs have a lot of melanin, so they don't look like you?
No, they're dark. Oh, they're dark. They're brown. They're darker than me. Oh, heck yeah, I'll stand it. My AIs are dark.
They don't look like you.
Listen, they don't look like this camera on here got me looking like a light bright. Reba, can I borrow some melanin? Because I am not this light. Okay? Don't start that.
The Black spirit is there, but the melanin is.
Teray?
The Blackness is here. You insist 100%, but it's not.
See, colorism. Reba, look how colorism.
I'm here for you, sis. This is colorism. Exactly. This is what we're fighting, Teray. This is what the culture needs to rid itself of. And look at you lifting it up.
Look, I think the sister is beautiful. I think you're beautiful. I think Dimitri is also here with us. So, everybody's beautiful.
So my AIs can't be Black. My AIs are Black, melanin, chocolate, all skin colors of our color spectrum. And I use them on my social media. People love it. They even DM or ask me, is that AI, Doc? And I say, yes, it is. But we're able to drive messages through it. So that's why I say there are some really good perks in it. But, when it comes to people using celebrities and putting a different message to them, like they have 50 Cent as an AI and they have his mouth speaking a whole different message that he doesn't speak. So in my mind, I thought, to me, that's defamation. I mean, this brother didn't say that. These words aren't his. And that's when it becomes dangerous. And then you look at privacy acts. It's like, wait a minute. So how much privacy do I have if AI is created?
Yeah, Dimitri, I definitely am at a place where if I see a clip online and somebody says something that seems like wow and out of pocket, I immediately am like, I don't believe it. It's probably AI. I need to see it, in 4 other places before I believe it. So I'm assuming it's AI if I see something out of the norm.
Absolutely. Nowadays, in this day and age, you have to question everything you see on social media, from pictures to, honestly, hate to put a personal story out there, but there are, if anybody was to have a look on TikTok and search my name, there's 80 Dimitri Wiley accounts, like 80, literally. And someone sent me an Instagram video where they're using my voice as AI to scam women out of money. And I'm speaking thousands of dollars.
Catfishing.
And honestly, when you play it, there's no infractions. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It's very monotone. The thing about it is, as a man who is on social media and cares about what he pushes forth, this is terribly disturbing. Like, it not only is it fraud, it's catfishing, it's manipulative, and the people behind these acts have spoken egregiously to people. I'm talking cussing their kids out, cussing them out. If you like, and it's I hate everything about it.
I think that Dimitri that's too much, and that he's actually doing this stuff and coming on here claiming that somebody else did do. How do I know that he ain't doing it? And now he trying to get out of it.
Much time, all right? I'm talking to you. I ain't got that much time.
Dimitri, how easy is it to steal someone's ID?
I mean, the thing about it is, all they do is have to take a video or a podcast or anything where my voice is, because it's a very distinctive voice. I don't know about you, Torre. Some people would consider this a little sexy. Some people, it's giving like whispers in the dark. You know what I'm saying? So don't be a hater. That's one.
Hey, you have a fantastic voice.
Thank you. It's about time I got some acknowledgement.
The hairline we're going to talk about, but the voice is fantastic.
Voice is so good that Waze stole his voice. You know he's on Waze when you get
this one.
His voice is on Waze.
Yeah.
Yes. So that Waze didn't steal his voice as AI, but he has a contract with Waze. They use Dimitri as a turn left here and turn right there.
Torre, how does that sound?
That's amazing. I can't wait to never use that, but I am so happy that exists in the world.
Such a hater.
But all of that was done through AI, and it has its perks and it has its detriments too. What's going on online, and I just want to publicly make this known, if I can, here on Truth Talks Live. I have one social media account on every platform. I am not Dimitri Wiley, not Dimitri Wiley 02, not Dimitri Wiley burner account. I am terribly sorry for the people who've been getting scammed and finessed, but I promise you, it's AI. It's not me. In the year of 2025, if you ain't FaceTiming that man, that ain't that man.
I have a real story. My niece and I went to go see Coco Jones perform, and my niece is 20. She was going to be 21 in 2 months. So y'all don't come for me because I clap back. And we were trying to get into the Coco Jones concert, and she wasn't 21 yet. And literally, my little sister, who is a little older but younger than me, sent her ID. I had no idea my niece was doing this. She's on her phone, on an app. Hold on. Oh, shut up, Torre. On her app. And she goes, okay, we're good. She literally used AI to swap out her photo for my sister's photo to get it. Now, mind you, we still didn't get in. That was God. God was having our back. God's like, no, we're not going to do this. But I'm trying to say that's how quick. But that's how easy AI is used to swap identifications. That is crazy.
That's a fantastic story about Dr. Bryant helping to ruin the youth of America. Thank you so much for that. I'm so glad that it didn't work out that night, but there's still tonight. That is our show for tonight. Like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Truth Talks Live. Continue to watch us simulcasting right here on the Black Star Network, right after Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support Black media at Cash App Truth Talks Live, and support us by advertising on the show, as our friends at Hair Maniacs did tonight. Thank you so much to them. Truth Talks has an over 10 million person viewing audience. So if you advertise on the show, they will fall in love with you. Small business and influencers, please partner with us by visiting truthtalkslive.com and become a VIP member of the Truth Lounge, and click on any co-host room, even mine. Black media is under attack, so support us by telling a friend to tell a friend to check us out every night at 8 p.m. EST and 8 p.m. PST. Those are two different times, Dr. Bryant. Thank you, Ariba, for being here all week. We love you so much. We appreciate you, especially when you disagree with Dr. Bryant. Next week, we will have Judge Laura Lake here with us. We are here for you every weeknight at 8 p.m. We will see you tomorrow.
Wait, Torre, can I please let people know that I actually have my Hair Maniacs in right now, honey. And I will be doing a review on how much I love it. I don't have to wait to do a review next week on how much I love it, because can you guys tell how nice it is? Anyways, I have long, beautiful, luxurious hair, but I did put in my hair Maniacs Tori, leave me alone. My Hair Maniacs extensions. And let me tell you, one thing for sure, it matches the heck out of my hair. Two things for sure, I could wash this thing and get it right back the way it is. Three things for sure, I worked out in it and just did my wand curl, honey. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm not gonna play with you. Not gonna hold you. Anyways, I'm back. Okay, Tori, you can compliment me. Go ahead, I'm waiting.
No, you look great. It looks great. It looks fantastic. It really does.
Thank you. But I do want to say this, y'all. I have not been the woman who, I've always been into natural hair, okay? Natural hair. But I want to say this. This is literally my first or second time that I have put in extensions. And this is the first time, and I'm not playing. You can look for yourself. This is my first time where the hair has matched my hair absolutely to the T. Let me show you one more time, y'all. I'm not playing with you because I want you to really get into
the color or the texture.
The color. Hold on. Look at this. This is the hair. I'm not playing. This is my hair and the hair. The color and the texture. It's all blending in. You cannot make this up. I can't make this up. Okay. Look at God. Look how pretty this is. I didn't have to dye it. I didn't have to do anything at all.
Where's the Hair Maniacs?
This is the point. Let's see if we can literally. Hold on. I'm not playing. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to try to show you. If you can see a trap, then good luck. But there's nothing in there. Do you see this? So this is my hair that I'm pulling.
Okay.
This is the Hair Mania. This is the Hair Mania. Can you tell the difference?
No.
My point. And guess what? When I go on dates because I'm single, neither can they. Thank you. Neither can they.
You don't mind the grays?
Where you see gray at, honey? Where you see gray at?
I'm kidding because I'm used to grays in my hair and you don't have any grays. I do.
So guess what, Corey? Hair Mania has gray extensions as well. So for the grays out there, you can put it in. And last but not least, literally, you can dye it. So I have some more of their hair that my hairstylist has, but they have dyed blonde. So y'all may see me back on True Talks with some blonde streaks. Don't you tell nobody that is my hair extensions. Okay, that is my hair. It's going to blend in and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So they have the other, Dimitri, leave me alone. Because you see me, Dimitri, you see me at our show in Atlanta. Was the hair not popping?
It was popping.
I had it big, beautiful, and curly. And when I tell you, I got so many compliments on it. Full, beautiful, curly hair. And the hair is soft. And I'm not playing, y'all, because I'm not an extension girl. I am now sold. I will be wearing my extensions and everyone's going to compliment it. And you're going to leave me alone about my hair now. Let me go a little further. I even wore this to the BET Awards, hair experience, everything. And when I tell you, even on red carpet, people were like, Doc, your hair is so beautiful. Not did you get extensions, not like literally. And I get compliments, but for hair to be the main compliment, that's a big deal. Because a lot of people don't have great hair. I don't know, Reva, if you can confirm that it is hard to find hair texture that matches hair.
Oh, I've just been sitting back quietly going, go girl with these hair extensions because so many people have trauma around hair extensions because people have made us feel bad about wearing hair extensions. So thank you for breaking down that stigma and saying, ladies, if you want to wear hair extensions that are long, that are curly, that are blonde, that are whatever, wear your hair extensions, do you. So I love it. It looks gorgeous. I can't wait to see the blonde. I can't wait to see you in that summer, beautiful blonde hair.
And one more thing, I know I'm talking about my hair extension. One more thing, this hair is like a 28, 32. It's long. Hold on. I have gotten their shorter hair, put a bob in this hair, braid up my whole hair, and that bob was bobbing. So I just want the girls to know. It was bebopping and bobbing, but I want the girls to know it's not just about length because I have long now, but I have used their hair for a full head, what they call full head quick weave of me doing a short bob, which I'm going to post pictures up on my social media so you can see the bob and you can see the long. Both extensions, hands down. I cannot make this up. Bomb, straight up, amazing and bomb. The texture's bomb, y'all. And listen, if you guys go and order, tell them that the doc sent you. Tell them that the doc sent you.
It looks beautiful.
You want to talk about your hair now? We'll listen.
Let's do it. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough time for this hair.
Dimitri, he needs hair extensions. Oh, he needs gray hair extensions. They got that too, Torre. Tell them the doc sent you.
I'm going to get him some.
We out. Fuck all of y'all.